The highway stretched endlessly under the dim glow of my truck's headlights. It was one of those nights where the world felt empty, just me, the road, and the low hum of the engine. I had taken this route 100 times before, but something about tonight felt different. The air was thick, heavier than usual, as if it carried whispers too faint to hear. I adjusted my grip on the steering wheel and glanced at the fuel gauge. Half a tank, plenty to get me through the next stretch. The radio crackled softly, an old country song playing in the background, but it did little to shake the unease creeping up my spine. Maybe it was the fog rolling in from the fields, or maybe it was the way the road signs looked worn, as if they had been standing there for centuries, watching. A pair of headlights appeared in my side mirror. Another truck, moving fast. Too fast. The driver wasn't using their high beams, which was strange out here in the middle of nowhere. As they got closer, something about the vehicle made my stomach twist. It wasn't the truck itself, it was the way it moved, perfectly in sync with mine. Every turn, every adjustment, mirrored exactly. I slowed down. The truck behind me slowed too. I sped up. So did they. I felt my chest tighten. This wasn't normal. I reached for my CB radio, my fingers hovering over the switch, but before I could say anything, the other truck's headlights flickered. Just for a second. And in that brief moment of darkness, I saw something. Someone standing in the middle of the road ahead. My heart leaped into my throat as I slammed the brakes. The truck behind me swerved, its tires screeching against the pavement. I gripped the wheel, bracing for impact, but when I looked up, there was no one there. Just the road, empty, silent. And then, the CB radio crackled to life. A voice, low, distorted, almost like a whisper, broke through the static. You saw them too, didn't you? Let me know when to continue with the next section. I stared at the radio, my hand frozen over the switch. The voice had come from channel 19, the open road frequency, but the way it sounded, like someone was speaking from a place far away, or too close. I swallowed hard and finally pressed the button. Who is this? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The line hissed, crackled, then silence. I exhaled and forced a chuckle, trying to shake the nerves. Maybe it was just some bored trucker messing around. It wouldn't be the first time someone played a prank on the radio. But as I glanced at my mirror, the truck behind me was gone. No taillights, no sign of it pulling off to the side. Just an empty highway stretching into the night. I felt a shiver run down my arms. It didn't make sense. I had just seen it. A full-sized rig doesn't just disappear like that. I shook my head, trying to focus. Keep driving. Get to the next stop. That's all I needed to do. But the road ahead suddenly felt different, like I had taken a wrong turn somewhere without realizing it. The mile markers, they weren't counting down anymore. I checked my GPS. The signal was gone. A deep breath. Calm down. Maybe I was just exhausted, my mind playing tricks on me. Then, just ahead, a light flickered in the distance. A gas station. Relief washed over me. I wasn't lost after all. Maybe I could stop for a coffee, shake this weird feeling, but as I got closer, something wasn't right. The neon sign buzzed faintly. Last stop fuel. Except the letters were half burned out, making the words unreadable. The place looked abandoned, the windows dark, the pumps rusted. But what made my stomach drop was the truck parked in front. It was the same truck that had been following me. Same color, same make. But the driver's seat was empty, and the door was hanging open. I hesitated, my fingers tapping against the wheel. I could just keep driving, ignore it. But something about the way that truck sat there, like it was waiting. I killed the engine and stepped out. The night air was thick, damp, carrying a strange smell, something metallic, like old pennies. The wind pushed against my back as I walked toward the open door. I peeked inside. The cab was empty except for one thing. A CB radio sat on the passenger seat, its lights still on. And then, from the speakers, a voice whispered, "You're not supposed to be here." The radio switched off by itself. Darkness swallowed everything. For a moment, the only sound was my own breathing, uneven, shallow. I turned back toward my truck, my eyes straining to adjust. The neon sign had stopped buzzing. Even the distant hum of the highway had vanished. It was as if the world had pressed mute. Then, footsteps. Not running, not creeping, just slow, steady footsteps on the pavement. I couldn't see anything, but I felt it. Someone was there, watching. I took a step back, my boot scuffing against the cracked concrete. The footsteps stopped. The silence stretched. My heart pounded so loud it felt deafening. I forced myself to speak. "Who's there?" No answer. I reached for my pocket knife, flipping it open with shaky fingers. I wasn't about to get caught off guard, but as I gripped the handle, something strange happened. The air shifted. It was subtle at first, like a distant breeze, but then I felt it pressing against me, pushing down on my shoulders, thick and suffocating. My ears popped. The pressure built until it felt like the ground itself was tilting. Then just ahead, the gas station's glass door swung open on its own. A dim light flickered inside. I didn't want to go in. Every bone in my body screamed at me to get back in my truck and drive. But something was wrong. That other truck, the one that had been following me. Where was the driver? I took a deep breath and stepped forward. The inside of the gas station smelled like dust and something rotten. The shelves were mostly empty, aside from a few faded snack wrappers and overturned cans. A single flickering bulb buzzed near the ceiling, barely casting enough light to see. Then I noticed it. The security camera monitor behind the counter. The screen was old, grainy, but it was still running. And it was showing the outside parking lot. My truck. The abandoned truck. The pumps. And then, something else. A figure, standing right behind me. I spun around, swinging my knife, but no one was there. My breath came fast. I looked back at the screen. The figure was still there, still behind me. But now it was closer. Then the screen flickered, and the voice from the radio whispered again. "You should have kept driving." The screen went black, and the footsteps started again. Closer. I didn't wait. My boots scraped against the linoleum as I backed away, my eyes darting across the empty store. The footsteps, they were inside now, but I still couldn't see anyone. I gripped my knife tighter. My throat felt dry. The only light left flickered above me, buzzing like it was straining to stay alive. The air was heavier now, colder. Then I saw it. A reflection. Not in the camera screen this time, but in the glass of the old refrigerator doors lining the back wall. Someone, was standing at the end of the aisle. A tall, shadowed figure, just out of focus. I spun to face it. Nothing. I swallowed hard and turned back to the glass. The figure was closer. My breath hitched. My chest tightened. I wasn't alone. A whisper slid through the air, curling around my ears. "Did you take the wrong road? Or did the road take you?" I turned and bolted. My legs carried me faster than I thought possible, pushing past dusty shelves, knocking over an old rack of keychains. I shoved through the door and into the night. But the parking lot was different. The gas station, my truck, the empty truck, they were all gone. The pumps, gone. The road, gone. All that remained was an endless stretch of dirt and fog, swirling like a living thing. I turned in circles, panic clawing at my chest. Where the hell was I? Then, from the mist, the sound of an engine rumbled to life. Headlights flickered on in the distance, bright high beams cutting through the thick fog. A truck, a big one, but it wasn't mine. It growled forward, slow, deliberate. The engine had a deep, guttural sound, like it was alive. I took a step back. The truck kept coming. Another step. The engine revved. I turned to run, but the moment my boots hit the dirt, a horn blared, shaking the ground beneath me. I covered my ears. The sound was deafening. My knees buckled. The fog thickened, swallowing everything around me. Then, silence. I gasped for air. My hands trembled as I blinked, my vision still swimming from the blinding headlights. The truck was gone, but something else had replaced it. Just ahead, in the middle of the fog-covered road, was a signpost. It hadn't been there before. I forced my legs to move, creeping closer, my pulse hammering in my ears. As I got near, I saw the words carved into the old, rusted metal. Last stop before the lost. And beneath it, scratched deep into the wood, no one drives back. I stared at the sign, my breath coming in short, sharp bursts. No one drives back. The words felt heavier than they should, like a warning meant just for me. My fingers grazed the rusted metal, feeling the rough grooves of the carved letters. It wasn't old. Someone, or something, had put it here recently. A chill crawled up my spine. I turned in slow circles, searching for any sign of my truck, the gas station, anything familiar. But the landscape was nothing but endless fog, shifting like waves in an invisible ocean. Then, in the distance, I saw it. A figure standing just beyond the mist. Still. Motionless. Watching. I squinted, trying to make out details, but the fog refused to let me see clearly. My gut twisted. Everything in me screamed to stay back. But then, it took a step forward, and another, and then, it ran, straight for me. I stumbled back, my heart slamming against my ribs. The figure was fast, impossibly fast. Its shape was wrong, limbs too long, movements jerky, unnatural. I turned and ran, my boots pounded against the dirt, my lungs burning. The fog made everything disorienting. No road, no markers, nothing to guide me. Just endless gray swallowing me whole. Behind me, the footsteps were getting louder. Then, a truck horn blared through the mist. I skidded to a stop, nearly falling over. The sound cut through everything, shaking the ground beneath my feet. Headlights pierced the fog. A truck. My truck. It was parked just ahead, engine rumbling. The driver's side door was open, like it had been waiting for me. I didn't stop to question it. I lunged forward, gripping the door frame, hauling myself inside. The moment I slammed the door shut, a hand slapped against the window. Not a normal hand. The fingers were too long, the skin pale and stretched, almost translucent. Black veins twisted under the surface. The nails, jagged and broken, like they had been clawing at something for a long time. And the face. God, the face. It wasn't human. It looked like it had been, once. The eyes were hollow, empty pits. The mouth twisted into something that might have been a scream, but no sound came out. It slammed its hand against the glass again, harder this time. A crack splintered through the window. I didn't wait to see if it would break through. I threw the truck into gear and hit the gas. The tires spun against the dirt before catching traction. The thing outside screamed, its voice a high-pitched, unnatural wail. The fog blurred everything as I tore forward, the truck rattling as I pushed the speedometer past its limits. For a moment, I thought I was getting away. Then I looked in the mirror and saw the truck behind me, the same one that had been following me before, its headlights glowing too bright, its grille looking more like a mouth, its engine roaring like a living thing. It was chasing me and getting closer. Then, over the roar of the engine, the CB radio crackled to life once more. A voice, low, distorted, and filled with something I couldn't name, whispered, "You can't outrun the road," gripped the wheel, my knuckles turning white as I floored the gas pedal. The truck behind me, that monstrous thing, was gaining. Its headlights burned impossibly bright, swallowing my mirrors in a blinding white glow. The engine growled like a starving animal, its roar shaking my entire rig. It wasn't just following me, it was hunting me. The road ahead stretched endlessly into the fog, no turns, no exits, just a straight, infinite path leading nowhere. My heart pounded. I needed a way out. Then the CB radio crackled again. The voice, low, warped, wrong, whispered in my ear, "The road only ends one way." The truck behind me surged forward. Slam! The impact sent my truck skidding sideways. I fought the wheel, trying to keep control. My tires screeched, burning rubber against pavement that hadn't been there seconds ago. I looked up, and suddenly, the road was different. The fog was gone. The gas station? Back. My eyes darted to the mirrors. The chasing truck? Gone. My breath came in ragged gasps. I slowed down, my heart hammering against my ribs. Everything was exactly as it had been before this nightmare started. The neon sign buzzed overhead, casting the same sickly glow over the cracked pavement. But something was off. The air felt too still. The silence was thick, suffocating. And then, I saw it. A man standing just outside the gas station, leaning against the wall, smoking a cigarette. He wore a trucker's cap pulled low over his eyes, his face barely visible under the dim light. Something about him felt wrong, like he had been here before, like he had been waiting. I hesitated, my fingers twitching against the wheel. Then, he turned his head. And I swear to God, he looked exactly like me. Same face, same jacket, same everything. He smirked, took another drag of his cigarette, and then he tipped his hat. The CB radio crackled one last time. "Told you, driver, no one drives back." The world blinked, and I was standing outside the gas station, leaning against the wall, smoking a cigarette, watching myself pull up in the truck. The cycle had begun again. No one drives back. The words echoed in my head as I stood there, the cigarette burning between my fingers. I watched as I pulled up in the truck. The headlights bathed the cracked pavement in a dull yellow glow. My heart pounded. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. I tried to move, to step away from the wall, to shout, to warn him, me, whoever was in that truck. But I couldn't. My body wasn't mine anymore. I was trapped in this skin, this version of myself that had already lived this moment. And I knew, deep in my bones, that I had done this before. Many, many times. The truck door creaked open. He stepped out. Confusion flickered across his face, just like it had on mine before. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. He saw me. His brows furrowed, his eyes darted to the gas station, then back to me, the way I had looked at the man before. I knew what was coming. The CB radio inside the truck crackled. I knew what it would say. The road only ends one way. And then something changed. A shiver ran through me. The man, me, the one stepping out of the truck, looked straight at me. And for the first time, our eyes locked. And he saw me. Really saw me. His face twisted in horror. What the hell is this? That had never happened before. He took a step back. I felt it too. A ripple in the air. A crack in the cycle. Something was watching. Something new. The ground trembled. The lights above the station flickered violently. The gas pumps let out a deep, hollow hiss, like something was breathing through them. And then the fog returned. Thick, black this time, swallowing the gas station, the truck, the road. The man, me, started to fade. His body flickered, warping, shifting like a bad signal on an old TV. And then, a new voice. Not from the radio, from behind me. You weren't supposed to notice. My blood ran cold. I turned, and I saw it. A shape. Not a person. Not a shadow. Something in between. And then it smiled. That smile. It wasn't human. It wasn't me. It wasn't anything I could understand. But it knew me. I felt it in my bones, in my blood, in the air that suddenly wasn't mine to breathe anymore. You weren't supposed to notice, it whispered again, its voice curling around my ears like smoke, thick and suffocating. The gas station groaned. The walls warped. The pavement cracked beneath my feet. And then, I felt it. A pull. Not forward. Not backward. Somewhere else, entirely. Like the world was unraveling, splitting at the seams, and I was standing at the center of the tear. I looked back at the truck. At him. He was frozen, his mouth open in a silent scream, his body stretched, distorted. His skin flickered like an old film reel, shifting between him and me and him, both and neither. The cycle was breaking. The figure stepped closer. That thing. You don't belong here anymore, it said. I wanted to scream, to run, to fight, but my body wasn't my own. My hands twitched at my sides, my legs locked in place. And then, darkness. Not like night. Not like closed eyes. Worse, a void. A space where nothing had ever existed and never would, and I was falling into it. I heard the roar of an engine, the distant crackle of the CB radio, the low hum of a voice whispering something I couldn't make out, and then silence. I woke up. The truck stop was gone. The road stretched ahead of me, empty, endless. My hands were on the wheel. The truck was running. The gas gauge read full. Had I dreamed it? I exhaled, rubbing my face. My skin felt clammy, cold. I reached for the CB radio, hesitating. Static. Then a voice. My voice. No one drives back. The radio clicked off. And in my side mirror, I saw someone standing on the side of the road. Someone who looked exactly like me. And they were smiling.